The lesson 8 keywords are sexual reproduction, monohybrid inheritance, allele, a gene, Punnett square, genotypic ratio, phenotypic ratio, dominant, recessive, heterozygous, and lastly homozygous. Sexual reproduction is how we make babies. When we do this, we combine gametes. By doing that, we bring together the products of meiosis, and the babies look different to the parents. A very important way of making variation in the human species. Monohybrid inheritance simply describes how a gene from the mother and a gene from the father, or the words alleles, are inherited. An allele is a different version or type of a gene. A gene is a piece of DNA that controls a trait or characteristic. Punnett square is a simple way by which we can work out the genotypic and phenotypic ratios to get an idea of what possible babies' phenotypes and genotypes could be after sexual reproduction. The genotypic ratio simply looks at the combinations of a gene in the progeny. For example, is the baby going to have two capital C's, or a capital C and a small c, or maybe two small c's? What we simply do is we look at the Punnett square, we work out the possibilities, and then we work out the number of possible round faces to oval faces. A phenotypic ratio, that simply tells us what the babies possibly could look like and in what ratio they are likely to appear in the progeny. It doesn't mean to say that all the babies are going to have round faces or circular faces. It simply says the possibility is there that 3/4 of them will have that phenotype and 1/4 of them will have a different phenotype. That's all it says. If an allele is dominant, it means that it overrides, it gives its message over the recessive allele. For example, capital C gives the message for a round face. And even if we have something that is heterozygous, capital C and a small c, we do not hear the message from the small c, only from the capital. If something is recessive, that's that small c. The only time we get the information from that allele is when we have two small c's together, or two recessive alleles. If something is heterozygous, it means it has a dominant and a recessive allele in the genotype. If something is homozygous, it could be only dominant allele or possibly only recessive allele. Enjoy the rest of the lesson. Thank you.